Good evening. I'm filming this in the evening. Thanks for watching. This is Brent Pilot. Let's fly a VOR runway 4 left approach into Baton Rouge. KBTR. Bravo Tango Romeo. I'm going to set this up as you see here in the 172 Skyhawk. It's the basic 6-pack. No G1000, just the GNS 530, I believe. Okay, we're taking off from Cane Air, a little grass field south of Baton Rouge. So we're going to enter from the south, and if we brief our plate here, it's the VORTAC LSU at 116.5, approach course 066 degrees. Runway is good, all those numbers look good. Helicopter, don't worry about. Something about using the increasing the minimums if you use the Hammond altimeter. We'll get the ATIS from Baton Rouge, so hopefully won't need that. Missed approach is climb to 2500 on the LSU VORTAC at 060 radial to 24.3 DME and do that published hold in the missed approach fix box there in the chart, the diagram. Okay, so if we go missed, we'll just climb up to 2500 feet on reestablished to 060, 24.3 DME from the VORTAC. Then we have the comms. We're going to use ATIS 125.2, Baton Rouge approach 120.3, Ryan Tower 118.45, and then finally we'll use ground 121.9. We don't have to worry about the other two. There you see the initial approach fix is that VORTAC. The identifier will be picked up by the GPS. Try to get the Morse code. So we're entering from the south. So it says no procedure turn for arrival on LSU VORTAC airway radials 239 clockwise to 301. But that doesn't apply for us. So we'll have to do that procedure turn. We'll get on actually 246 away from the VORTAC to the procedure turn. So once we get directly on the VORTAC, we turn to 246 for about a minute. Then we're going to take a left turn to 201. Then we're a minute there. Then do procedure turn away from the barb back to 021 and then intercept 066 on that VORTAC radial. And fly down as we see go lower. We be at 2,500 feet. Once we reach the VORTAC again, we can start descending the Maltese cross there down to 860. That'll take us through Payan, however they pronounce that.
Not a single word. What do you do exactly?
At 5 DME, then over to 5.8. That's where the VDP is, that little V symbol. That's where our minimum descent will be. Out to 7.5, which is the missed marker. We have to go missed if we can't see the runway environment at that point. So we're category A, so we're doing a straight in 4 left. 860 is the minimum. And finally in the airport diagram sketch there, 4 left from 066 is going to be its non-precision approach. So we can see that arrow coming in 40 to 60, so 26 degrees off. And we'll have to make a little left turn 26 degrees and land on 4 left. Alright, and this chart is good from 26 December 24 to 23 Jan 25, so we're all good. Let's start the flight. We're going to take off. We're going to do a soft field takeoff here. Tail strikes there. Okay, and ground effect. And 80 knots. Positive rate of climb. Flaps up. And we're going inside here. Okay. It's north. We are more south of the airport. Alright, so we got to get this VOR established. That's 116.5. We'll start with that. Okay, I tuned it, identified it. The VOR is LSU. Now we gotta go right to it. So yeah, I could put direct to the LSU VORTAC, but I'm going primitive here. So I'm gonna do it. Use the VOR to dial it in. So I twist my OBS. It's in the 2. Let's see. I have the 2 flags, so I twist it right to get the center up on the CDI to centered. Now the CDI is centered at 325, so I'm going to make that heading. Okay, I'm in nav mode because I'm tracking that course. So it's right there on that line. So I need to go to that heading, 325. Set my autopilot up. I'm going to go heading mode. I'm going to set it at 325 for now. I'm going to capture my altimeter at 2,500. You know what? This is good. Okay, my altimeter is stable. There's the Mississippi. Alright, I identified it on nav 1 monitor there. See, the CDI is moving off, so we need to go to the right. I'm in heading mode, so I just move my heading bug to the right to stay on course. Recapture that line. As it moves back, I can go back to 326, 27. So we got a pretty good cloud layer there. A few breaks we can see down there. So basically, I'm at 80 knots. I need to bump up my speed. 22, 23 RPM. 100. Get back up to 90 to 100 knots. So I'm tracking this course line, which is one of the skills you need to perform to stay current on your IFR certificate. I'm at 11.5 nautical miles. When I get to the VORTAC, I make a left turn to 246 right here. Now as we get closer, it's going to be harder to maintain that course line. Just get very sensitive at that point. Just follow it the best we can. Just a couple degrees off line here. Getting back. Get that CDI back to the center. Back to 3. I'm gonna mirror what's on this here. 326. Right there. But we need to go a little bit more to get back on the line. And we're at 6.6 nautical miles now, 6.5 nautical miles. So it's going to get continue to move a little bit off more easily as we get closer and closer. 25 feet on my altimeter. We'll need to go to 2500. Well, it's at or above 2500. So we're good there. But we will be descending down to 860 for our VDP, visual descent point. Okay, now we're getting a little way off here, but we got 5 nautical miles to go. Get a little aggressive, get back on that line. Let it swing in and go back to 326. Once it gets there. Almost tried to go off again. .6 nautical miles. Big turn to get back on course, 326. See it going off to the right. Try to arrest that movement. Heading right to it. 2.4 nautical miles. At this point I would have picked up ATIS had the weather. So we have our altimeter. I mean, well before this point, would have picked up ATIS. But I'm really focused on this, following the course line, dialing in this VOR, 1.5 nautical miles, right there. Real sensitive. 1.2 nautical miles, gonna turn to 246. Okay, 0.5. And it's flipping right now. So we can take this and go to 246. For about a minute. Start our timer. Four, 6. So let's get back. We're off course. We need to go back to the right. Stay on 246. Because at the minute mark, in another 30 seconds, we're going to do a left turn to 201. $15 more seconds. Okay, and this is our mark to 201. So there's right there. 201 for another minute. And we're at the minute mark. So we'll go back to 021. We'll just keep doing it because we need to turn to the right. 021. Until we get back to this VOR radio of 066. When we hit that radio, we'll turn to 066. So we got 066 set here on the LSU VOR, or VOR. So once that comes in, then we can turn to 066. And that will take us straight into 04 left. Runway 04 left. There's a lot of visualization that you need to do. I'm heading to that line, and then I'm going to take a right turn. Use my heading bug to go to 066. And I can see it, I can check visually right here. I'm heading back to the VOR line, in line with the runway of the airport. Watch for this needle to move. The CDI, the course deviation indicator. Once that starts moving, I can get ready to make that turn. There it goes. And once it hits the center, I go over, or just before it hits the center, I go to 066. That's the inbound course. And there's the 066 radio we're about to hit. Make that turn. Do a little bit over because we're going to need to catch it once we're on that line. Okay, now when we get to 2.5 nautical miles, then we start our descent to 860. Get on that line, 066 radio. Turn a little bit too much there. 1.3. Getting that radio back to the center. Right on the center, 066. Right there. Really touchy. Okay, 0.4. We're at it, so we're gonna stay on 066. We're heading right into the runway, about 20 degrees, 26 degrees off. I'm looking for a visual, but now I can descend to 860. Be at least 18 there, descending. About 700 feet a minute here. That's a big drop from 2500 to 860, so we're going to go maybe 1,000 feet a minute. Why not? Bring it down to about 16. All right. Okay, 2 miles. At 5 is the VDP is 5.8, so we're at 2.3. We're descending into the clouds now. I'm at 1,500, and I can see the runway now, or the airfield. Off course. 1066 radial. I'm gonna scoot over just a bit here. Actually, yeah, I can get back on that radial. I'm at 1,000, coming up to 1,000, so I'm getting pretty close to 860. I'll put some speed back in. Take off that vertical descent. 840. I should not be that low. Big throttle to get back to 860. Okay. Alright, so we're at 4.6. We have 5.8. We can ride the VDP of 860 feet. Well, we're pretty close to that right now. We're gonna drop this. Stop right there. Altimeter right there. Okay, I'm at 880, so that's decent. I can see the field, so wait till 5.2. 5.8 is my mist, so I am going to do a two-parter here. Turn off autopilot because I have the field in sight. I'm gonna make sure I'm getting back to that 066 line, which is way over here. Got off pretty not terribly off, but enough. So this is where I should be, 066 line, and there's runway 4 right over there in the corner there. So I have the field inside. They'd say visual approach, clear to land, and I take over from here. 860, we descended. Once we have the field in sight, I can descend. Get my flaps in there. I'm at 80, and another notch of flaps. I'm kind of high here, so I'm gonna go full flaps, forward pressure on the yoke, and make my normal landing. If I didn't see it, we'll cover that in the next video. I would do the missed approach. That's climbing to 2500, get back on the 060 radial and go over to that DME point and do the hold. We'll cover that on the next video. I appreciate you watching. Please like this video, subscribe because of the YouTube algorithm. You know how that works. Whatever. We're gonna land here into the runway flare. Ooh, just made it. Okay. I'll just blame the bad weather because this is simulated IFR. Thanks for joining me. Take care. God bless. We did it. A VOR approach to 4 left. Using this chart to my left. That's why I'm looking over there a lot. And I'll see you on the next flight. See ya. Brakes on. Flaps up. Aerodynamic braking. Brake off. Go to parking. Since I'm Nordo, which means I have no communication, I'll just go for it. You know, next time I'll do this with, say, intentions running, or Batsy. Batsy's got the VFR announcement, so I'm gonna use that as well. Plus, I mean, this is This is an approach. Hopefully they'll have, I can just set up the VOR approach. I wonder if Batsy can handle a VOR approach. I know it does ILS. RNAV approaches, but I never heard anything about a VOR approach. Maybe one with even circling or a DME arc. That'd be interesting. And we'll park right behind this floating aircraft. Oh, there's Will. It just put its wheels down. Good. Hey, everybody. And I think my shut-off button is here. Yeah. Oh. IFR. It's no joke. Practice, practice.